What's up, everybody? Welcome to Frank Analysis. I'm your host, Franco. I'm coming out of my break early because I feel like this is a really important conversation to have. Kyle Kulinski and Krystal recently had Vaush on their show. Vaush is a pedophile apologist, and he's also a racist. And then Kyle recently responded to the criticisms people gave him for platforming Vaush, and he completely missed the point. So we're going to get into that today, but first, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, like this video, share this video, and the best ways that you can support this show is on Rockfin, and the other links to ways that you can support this show are in the description. So if you're not familiar who Vaush is, he's a bread tuber who on YouTube and on Twitch who gets into a lot of debates. He's a debate me bro. If you guys are familiar with Destiny, he's similar to that. He supported Bernie Sanders. He's against Bernie or Busters. He was telling people to vote for Biden. He repeats a lot of State Department talking points about our foreign policy, with a few exceptions. Like, for example, on the Israel-Palestine case, he's on the right side, but I still don't trust the guy, given how he repeats a lot of State Department talking points about other issues, such as the supposed Uyghur genocide that's been debunked already by very well documented sources like the Gray Zone, like Danny Haifong. I also had Bay Area 415, who had videos that were very well documented debunking these claims. Vaush was also somebody who was really against forced to vote. He was like one of those people that were focusing too much on Jimmy's personality and saying, oh, it's a litmus test. He's using it as a litmus test against like AOC and blah, blah, blah. You guys already know my stance on that. And if you don't, I have some videos that you guys can watch where you can see what my stance is on forced to vote. And Kyle and Krystal had him on to talk about these disagreements, primarily the disagreements that they had on forced to vote and a bunch of other issues. The problem that I have with Kyle and Krystal platforming somebody like that is that he's a pedophile apologist, and we're going to get into that. And he's also a racist. Why are you wasting your time talking to somebody who sits in his, in his bedroom, streaming for hours, playing video games, when you could be doing something more productive and interview a journalist that does deep dive investigations, people like Whitney Webb, people like Eva Bartlett, Vanessa Beeley, who are on the ground in other countries in the Middle East, documenting what's happening with our foreign policy. Shit, might as well, why don't you platform people, someone like Max Blumenthal or Ben Norton even? At least do that. But instead, no, they platform, as they see anybody who was a former Bernie supporter as somebody who is, I guess, legitimate in their eyes. They're still normalizing people like Sam Cedar and all these people. And I guess they don't see them as much of an obstacle and just, oh, they're just people with disagreements. But aside from people like Sam Cedar and the TYT folks, Vaush is a special case. Because like I mentioned earlier, he's a pedophile apologist and he's a racist. So take a look at these clips here.
I say it with a hard R. Do I look like a fucking bitch to you? Do you think I would puss out on a joke that could be funnier if I went the full mile? Of course not. Well, everyone who's saying yikes in the chat can go fuck yourself right now. If you unironically think that me just saying the N-word alone with my girlfriend in a non-racist context is like yikesy or problematic, then you believe in witchcraft. You believe that the N-word is a magical spell that you cast with your mouth that makes the world worse somehow. It's a very stupid take.
Your little baby space, and we can have a broader left space, but we can also have a much broader left space that is interested in appealing to people from all across the spectrum. So people over here might occasionally say retard or whatever. Okay, I'll take people saying retard and supporting class emancipation than I will taking them saying retard and not supporting class emancipation. Hey, listen, over here. Hey, if you're a white dude, listen over here. This is the circle for white dudes who really love saying nigga. They love saying, they're like, I'm a nigga. Okay, this is where they are, okay? I would rather have them be here.
You realize there were N-words in the SS,
Dude,
right?
you can just say niggers.
Whew. Wow.
Oh,
that's a little bit hot for
God!
me,
Oh
but-
God! Oh, oi, mate! Oh, he said the word. Oh, God!
I got him. I broke his brain. Hey, Matt. Vaush is about to defend saying the N-word. I have defended saying the N-word before. I said it on the kill stream. I posted a comment in the section defending it. I stand by my use of the N-word in that respect.
I don't know why this needs to be explained at this point, But given the historical context of the N-word, if you're not black, if you're not a descendant of a slave, if you're not a descendant of, if you're not physically like appear like a black person, and especially when you have those roots, you don't have a right to say that word. Like, people in that community can use that word with each other because they have an understanding, a mutual understanding about that struggle. But it's not okay for people who are not black to say that word. We got to respect that. And I mean, we see here Vaush is just loosely saying that word very comfortably in his room and in his computer. Do you think that he's going to say that in front of black people? Of course he's not. And then here's something that I quote retweeted. I said, "This is who Krystal Ball, Kyle Kulinski, and many others in the synthetic left are normalizing." And I want to add Jen Perlman, who I've also called out. Like, I've sent her a message because she wanted to have like a collaboration show with me. And I told her that one of the reasons why I'm not going to platform you, Jen, is because you're normalizing people like Vaush. But there's a bunch of other reasons for why I didn't platform Jen Perlman, which I went over in my video. But take a look at this.
I'm asking you, I know these answers, but I'm asking you, okay? Why is it wrong to have child pornography?
Pedophiles, right, who buy child pornography, would you say they should not be held responsible for doing that?
Yes. Should consuming child porn be legal? I think that would be, yes, more legal and more ethically consistent. Yes, 100%. And this is going to be a real hot take. I have yet to hear a convincing moral or legal argument as to why possession of child pornography should be illegal.
I'm asking you, I know these answers.
So he always says that he's taken out of context. No matter what the context is, if you're saying that child pornography should not be illegal, that is enough already to be unacceptable. Children are not old enough. They don't understand. They're not old enough to give consent. They can easily be abused and hurt and traumatized. For more information, there's an article here that was published on the Drama Report called Ian, and then the article is by Bethany Blue, and it's called Ian Vaush Kulinski, allegedly reported to FBI by old close friend. Published on September 8th, 2020. So I want to read this part of the article that focuses on Vaush's apologetic stance on pedophilia. So during a debate with YouTuber Vegan Gains, he stated that he believed that it should not be illegal to produce, sell, or process child erotica. During a live stream debate on October 3rd, 2019, Vegan Gains asked Vaush if he actually believes that people should not be held accountable for this kind of child exploitation. Ian Vaush Kulinski responded yes, and we saw that clip just now. Really, Vegan Gains added, even though they're directly supporting child rape, Vaush doubled down on his disturbing views, saying, yeah, I think it's hypocritical. Because I bought my computer and it has silicon in it, was formed in Africa by slaves. If I can do that, that's illegal and nobody is going to call me out on my shit. Then yeah, I have to be consistent in that respect. It's completely different. Child rape is right there. It's in your face. Child pornography is child rape because children are not old enough to give consent. They don't know what they're doing. It can lead to future dramas. It can F them up in the head. And if you're not making child pornography illegal, then it's instigating and enabling predators. The article goes on to say, Vaush allegedly admitted to watching child porn. I've been a friend of his for a while, and he often brings the topic up in private conversations. I always just assumed he was trying to be controversial because that was his entire spiel. But once I saw this clip, I just knew. An alleged friend of Vaush told us. He went off on a tangent once and admitted that he once saw child porn and that he believes people that say they haven't are lying, she added. I think it was in relation to 4chan or something. It happened a while ago. Vaush's friend claimed that she gave an anonymous tip to the FBI cybercrime division shortly after the live stream, but doesn't believe that the FBI will investigate any further. And then he claims that he's been taken out of context. And of course, a bunch of people who defend and are viewers of Vaush say that always use that as an excuse. He was taken out of context. It doesn't matter what the fuck the context was. If he clearly said that he doesn't think that child porn should be illegal, that right there, it's never okay. It doesn't matter what the context is. Screenshots of past Discord conversations leaked that appear to show Vaush advocating for lowering the age of consent. And then here he's saying, the way I see it, the age of consent exists out of respect for the numerous power imbalances older people have over younger people. As those imbalances, or at least some of them, are redressed, though, the advent of socialism, the age of consent should therefore be lowered. Unbelievable. Vaush accuses detractors of attempting to smear him by not showing the full conversation. Ian Kulinski showed the entire conversation during one of his YouTube live streams where he says the age of consent should be at least 15. He changed his stance though. It says here, Ian now thinks the age of consent should be higher. Vaush says that his views on the age of consent have drastically changed since 2019. In the live stream where he addresses the old Discord messages, he claimed that his views on the age of consent changed after interacting with 18-year-old college students. After I got out of college and I looked back to my school and visited my old teachers and realized that like 18-year-olds in school are fucking babies. They're little tiny baby children at 18. I thought, oh my fucking God. I cannot believe adults are allowed to have sex with 18-year-olds. That's fucking insane. People aren't entirely convinced that Vaush was being truthful with his statement, but rather just doing some damage control. So in this video, Kyle Kulinski is responding to criticisms that people gave him for platforming this pedophile defender, and he completely misses the point. He equates this to just being, oh, I'm just platforming someone who I have disagreements with on the left. And you guys are being very divisive because you guys are getting mad at me for platforming people. You guys are being snowflakes. That's not what this is about, Kyle. That's not what this is about. Being a defender of pedophilia should never be normalized.
So this week on Krystal, Kyle, and Friends, we had Vaush on the podcast. And the response was interesting. Everybody knows that I try my best to avoid reading reactions because it's so easy to go insane when you know that it's impossible to please everybody because two people can watch the same thing and have polar opposite reactions. So, you know, it's best to just do whatever you think is best and see where the chips fall. But I wanted to dive into this conversation, which I think is an important conversation, which is some of the criticism that we got over this podcast. Now, again, plenty of people didn't criticize it. They thought it was wonderful. They thought it was lovely. And but there were also plenty who did criticize it. Now, of course, the main critique is, how dare you platform him? Now, there's a lot of reasons that they give why they think he shouldn't be platformed. And I will say that most of the points that were made from people who were making that argument, I think were beyond absurd. I think they were obvious smears. I think they are, they're little 5-second clips that are completely taken out of context.
Like I've been mentioning, it doesn't matter what the context is. Saying the N-word, saying that child pornography should not be illegal. It does not matter what the context is, Kyle. It doesn't matter. That just shows me that he's probably has seen those clips of him, of Vaush defending child pornography. And of Vaush saying the N-word. I don't know what it could be. Maybe Kyle hasn't seen those clips, which I highly doubt. Or maybe Kyle just thinks it's okay because, I don't know, he's just like another white guy with a platform. And he just concludes that it was taken out of context. So Kyle in his head is probably just comforting himself with, oh, it was just taken out of context. He's just telling himself that, oh, taken out of context, taken out of context. It was taken out of context. People take me out of context all the time. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as when you give like an in-depth like talking point about your political ideology or about something that happened in the news. This is defending child pornography and him saying the N-word.
And so I think that a lot of people who were making the argument were just coming from a place of like, I don't like this person, and I'm working backwards from that conclusion. And so how dare you do X, Y, and Z that I don't want you to do? So.
And he's making the conclusion, I like this dude. I think he's honest and he is interesting, which is what he was saying later on in the video. So he's coming from that conclusion and then working his way backwards and not investigating the history of this guy and how dishonest he actually is. If you watch his videos of Vaush, that guy is so freaking dishonest. The way that he treats people, the way that he repeats State Department talking points and then gets proven wrong with evidence, and then he doubles down on it. The way that he tries to defend and say, "Oh, I was taking out of context when I said that when I said that about child pornography, I was taken out of context." That makes you think that he's an honest person, Kyle. You don't know him. You have this illusion of something that you want him to be. Just because I guess you find everybody who's a Bernie supporter as somebody who's palatable to you. Somebody worth talking to. But when it comes to really important issues that's happening with our foreign policy or things that happen with our civil liberties or election integrity, you don't bring those people on. Now, if you guys want to watch that interview for yourself that Kyle and Krystal did with Vaush, you guys can watch it for yourselves, but you're not gonna get much out of it. Like the forced to vote debate, we already, like, this has been gone over and over and over again. If you're watching it, it's just more confirmation bias, which is pretty much just Kyle Kulinski's entire channel. It's just confirmation bias porn. Like, I get just as much information reading Kyle Kulinski's thumbnails as I do if I watch his videos. It's a huge waste of time for me. It may be different for you guys, but that's what I get. Like, the same amount of information I get from his videos, I get from his thumbnails. Like I said in the beginning, and like I just mentioned, there are people out there doing deep investigative journalism that Krystal and Kyle aren't bringing on. They're still talking about forced to vote. They're still talking about electoral politics and the latest gossip that's happening on Capitol Hill, which is the entire show of The Rising is pretty much just that, talking about the latest gossip on Capitol Hill. No discussion about solutions at all. Yeah, Kyle doesn't believe in third parties, and I agree. As long as third parties aren't giving concrete solutions to our corrupt election system problems, then they're a waste of time. But what else is Kyle proposing? He says general strike. How is he going to start that? Is he giving any concrete plan on how to start one? I discuss my solutions in detail in the U.S. Solutions Summit, which was recently. It's one of my most recent videos. But I also bring it up in my panel discussions. I mean, we talk about the Freedom Cells network that Derek Bros is proposing and doing something similar to that, opting out of the system, teaching people cryptocurrency, implementing similar programs that the Black Panther Party did. For a more detailed explanation of what my solutions are, look at the videos of me in the U.S. Solutions Summit. I've been on the ground. I work closely with people that organize events on the ground. I platform people that are doing on-the-ground events. It's not really clear if he still believes in reforming the Democratic Party, but then that's the problem. What are his solutions? It just seems like his show is just a show that just likes to talk about the problems, and he likes to hear the sound of his own voice. I don't know, but Kyle, props to you for giving me a shout out when my channel was demonetized. But when you're seriously lacking in your show, then I'm gonna call your ass out. And when you're normalizing these pedophile defenders, then I'm definitely gonna call your ass out. And so that was the purpose of this video. And if you guys want to still listen to Kyle, keep listening to him. But just know that there's much deeper dives out there, and you guys are missing out a lot if you guys are not following other channels like Richard Medhurst, everybody in the MCSC network, like the Combo Couch, Nico Houselo, Newsday, Facts on the Ground. If you're not keeping up with people like Eva Bartlett, Vanessa Beeley, Whitney Webb, Derek Bros, Ryan Christian of The Last American Vagabond, Robert Inlakesh. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Rockfin. Other ways to support the show are in the description. And most importantly, guys, stay informed.